Hi everyone, this week is Parsha Shmini and Parsha HaChodesh. And my question for you is, when is it important to stay quiet, to hold your peace? When silence is golden? And when is it important to be heard and to make your voice heard? Perhaps if we look at chapter 10, Parak Yud, in Parshat Shmini, Aaron at the beginning was supposed to be momentous and happy and celebratory day, the opening of the Mishkan, Aaron going to assume the Kohen Gadol opening ceremonies, and his two elder sons, Nadav and Avihu, present a Eish Zara, a strange fire, and they die. And this beautiful day is marred by their passing. And when Moshe tries to explain to Aaron, bring him comfort, Vayidom Aaron is silent. And our sages grapple with, what does this silence mean? Is it about the pain of the loss of two sons and there are no words? Is it an acceptance of full emunah and faith and that what God decreed was the right thing? As Rashi says, Aaron was rewarded for his silence and the following mitzvot that were commanded to the Jewish people were given solely to Aaron, not to Moshe. But if we look at the end of chapter Yud, Moshe comes to Aaron and he says, how come you and your sons, your two remaining sons, have not eaten from the offering, the Seir HaChatat for Rosh Chodesh? Why haven't you eaten from it? And Aaron now, instead of remaining silent, says, we are in a ninut, we are in mourning. It would not be proper for us to eat it. To eat the sin offering today, you think it's going to be good in the eyes of God? Vayishma Moshe hears, Vayita beinav. And Moshe, to his credit, says, you're right, I accept that. So here we have two different Aarons, or maybe the same Aaron. When did Aaron know to be quiet, and when did Aaron know that it was important to speak up? I think in the end of Shmona Esrei, we add that extra prayer, Elahai Nitzor, and we say the prayer of Makakalai Nafshi Tidom. If someone curses me, I should be quiet. The Gemara tells us that if someone embarrasses us and we don't say anything, Mavir Midoso, if it's something personal and we let it go, Hashem rewards us greatly. And maybe that's the first part. Aaron's going through some personal tragedy, and he doesn't complain against God. He accepts it with silence. But when the honor of God, when the service of God, when mitzvos have to perform a certain way and in the right way to elevate God's presence in the world, Aaron speaks up and he says, today's not the day to do this. And Moshe says, you're right. And so, I think as we go through this time, this crazy time in Jewish history, it's important that we educate ourselves. I don't know why this is happening. No one knows why this has happened to us on October 7th. Vayidom. We remain quiet. Only Hashem understands. But when people diminish the Jewish people, diminish God's people, but when they're fighting for the lives of the Jewish people and for the honor of Hashem, it's important that we educate ourselves, to speak up, to engage people who wish to be engaged. And I think that's the lesson of Aaron. When we see something is not right, we see information, hear misinformation, it's important to set the record straight. Important to educate ourselves, important to speak properly, to conduct ourselves properly, but never to cower down and never to be silent when it's not necessary. If you like what you hear, please pass it on. I accept all feedback, all comments. I wish everybody a good Shabbos, HaChodesh, and a good Parshat Shmini. Shabbat Shalom.